Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Chad.
This episode, we're covering weapons.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This is where the story really starts.
Weapons. We saw this last week before, on Thursday.
Yeah.
Last Thursday. Date night. And, you never know. Well, I didn't know. Like, this is the guy that made Barbarian. So I'm expecting, like, a crazy movie. Like, out of this fucking world, right? Especially with the marketing and the having the 2:17 like showings, and when out there in LA they had the kids showed up and they were all waiting creepily in line until they heard whatever, and then they scattered throughout the theater and like left. It was a whole thing. And random children and people just running randomly rampant throughout the cities. I mean, the marketing for this was top tier. Okay, fantastic marketing. It's not like Disney with John Carter where there was no marketing and everyone hated the movie and only I saw it at the theater. It was next level. So here I am watching the movie, and my sister actually had seen the movie like earlier. She saw it at 2:17. She was able to watch the film at that time, right? Awesome. And later on we discussed it. She was like really bothered by many parts, but specifically right at the beginning after you get to the whole thing. But I'm going to put a pin on that because we are going to just loosely discuss. Shad's going to cover like some of the people, and you're going to do your thing now. So, Barbarian director Zack Creager.
Yep.
He's come back.
Both wrote and directed this. And you're going to obviously recognize Josh Brolin. He's one of the parents in here, named Archer. He's kind of the main one. Like, that was something I thought was weird, was that he was the only parent that seemed to really go after her. Maybe he's just supposed to represent the crazy people in town. And you've got Julia Garner playing the teacher who all the kids disappear from her classroom, Justine. all the kids vanish from her classroom, and of course, the people in town are like, yeah, she probably did that shit.
Yeah, even though, yes.
There's no proof of it.
Yep.
And you've got Benedict Wong from all the Marvel movies that played Doctor Strange's assistant. And I can forget what his name was in those movies. But yeah, he's in here playing the principal of the school. You've got what's his name, Alden Ehrenreich, or Heinrich, whatever his name is. He plays one of the police officers in here that we see named Paul. He comes in quite a bit. That poor guy has a rough movie. And so does Austin Abrams, that plays James, who's kind of a drug addict character that we see part of the story through his eyes. And everybody in this movie has a rough way to go for one way or another.
For sure. Now, I'm going to start off, I want to say mid to high expectations, right? Just what you've already presented me with, Barbarian, which a lot of people probably may have not liked. I loved it. I thought it was fucking wackadoodle, and it was definitely something I had not seen before, so I appreciated it. Then here we are watching this film, and I had no idea, like I said, what direction it was going to go in. And you feel for the teacher. The character development in this is very well written. I'm good with the character development.
Yeah, because they could have just easily written her to just be this innocent teacher who's just this terrible thing happens to her, but you find out there's a lot with her, and there's a lot of reasons that people are like, oh yeah, she may have been involved in this because she's had a bit of a messy past. Nothing too crazy, but just enough that it puts just enough of a shade on her record that people are going to be suspicious of her.
Yeah, and God forbid a woman does anything, because you're got the letter S on your chest, and everyone's out to get you.
Yeah, suspect.
Super suspect. But that's not. Yes. So we have that, and it is weird. Why doesn't anyone else go after? None of the other parents cared what happened to their kids. That's what it made it seem like. Josh Brolin was the only one that was I need more answers on this. What's going on? Where's my kid? Or they
just didn't have time to show everybody else going in and yelling about it. But they could have just had everybody else standing in the lobby at the police station and Josh Brolin in there being the one yelling at the police chief about what you're doing. Kind of like they picked him to be the spokesperson.
Yeah. I felt the movie was very choppy and kind of all over the place. Now, to give some background, in case anyone has already read the many articles that have come out about the film, because it is a popular film, a lot of people are discussing it, critics are all about it. The movie actually, back in 2023, had to recast the entire film. The only person that is from the original one is the meth addict, or the crack addict, whatever, the drug addict.
He was into a lot of things.
He was the only original person in there, and there was a lot of delays because of the Hollywood strikes that were going on, and it was all scheduling conflicts, which is why Pedro Pascal couldn't be in it, because he was supposed to be the Josh Brolin part, and it's a completely different movie. There was a whole fight before that for who was going to pick up the movie. Supposedly Jordan Peele had his hand in the cookie jar. The studios were all over it. They wanted to get it. So we don't know what exactly, if this is, with the whole cast rewrite and everything, is this the same movie that he had years ago, or did it evolve because of everything that happened? Because there are certain things that bother me. We're going to start with the name of the movie. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand lazy writing. So when you have a one line in the movie that justifies something that's going to happen, or the title of the movie, in this case, the title. The whole, when he goes, the kids are being weaponized or whatever. And then you have that whole AK-47 thing above Josh Brolin's having a dream, and over his house he sees an AK-47, and then there's a Time 217 over it. There's a lot of people that have a lot of thoughts about the underlining message of what that's about, and it's about the kids, getting killed in schools and all this other stuff. No. Right there, you should have never named the movie Weapons. I get how maybe someone would say, well, the Brad person in the movie was using them as weapons, but technically they weren't. That wasn't the sole purpose. So by saying that the name is Weapons, I feel like that's the sole purpose of what's happening.
Was that referring
right?
to just the kids, or was that referring to any of them? Because she weaponized a few people in this.
She did, but when you have the whole AK-47 thing is a thing that really adds on to the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Because there was no reason for it. And I understand out there in the world, people are like, well, in the kids' room, there's a poster or something of an AK-47, right? Which is a weird thing to have in a kid's room, but okay. Maybe we're not a farming community.
If the kids don't learn about AK-47s by 3rd grade, when are they going to learn about them? You want to learn about it on the streets, or you want to learn about it at home?
When we went to go see, what's his face? Ron from Parks and Rec. Can't remember his name.
Nick Offerman.
When we went to go see Nick Offerman, and Nick Offerman was making a lot of jokes, and there was a lot of people in the audience that thought that Nick Offerman was like 100% about that. But all the other people that knew what Nick Offerman was about was like, no, he's being facetious and this is a joke.
Yeah.
That's where you're at right now. Just you're giving Nick Offerman, what are you doing now? Because people are going to take you for what you're saying for your word and believe all the bullshit you're saying, because it's obviously you don't believe in that. Okay, so we're going to put that aside.
Yeah, it's 4th
obviously
grade.
You're joking. It's 1st grade.
It's 4th grade when you teach them about the AK-47s. Come on.
Now, also, there was a Mad Max, what was it, Fury Road poster in the kids' room. The kid's like 7, y'all. Like, he's like 7 years old.
He's in 3rd grade. He would be 8 to 9.
Fine, he's 8 to 9 years old. When Fury Road came out, he was still wearing diapers. So, yep.
Well, no, let's see.
He was probably just learned how to walk. The point
he
is,
wouldn't have quite been born yet.
The point is, he was not going to be watching Fury Road at this age.
But does Josh Brolin seem like the kind of dad that would show him Fury Road at this age and be like, "This is a cool movie about cars, son"?
He was an older generation, and that's why I justified and kind of had it out. That had it out with my sister, but I disagreed about something I'm going to mention. I started mentioning it earlier, but I'm going to save it for a little while longer, which happens to the
just
teaser.
Keep teasing it out.
I'm just It's a teaser. You gotta keep them wanting more. So now you just threw my whole shit off. So now I don't even know what the fuck I was even talking about.
Well, let's talk about the fact that the movie it's told from various points of view. We start off with we see things from Justine's point of view, then we see things from Archer's point of view, then we see them from Paul, the cop's point of view, then we see them from James, the drug addict's point of view, then we see them from a couple of other people's points of view, and then everything kind of comes together at the end where all these things meet, and
it's kind of clever, like anthology.
Yeah.
And the wraparound is the main story.
Yeah. And it reminded me a little bit like of Trick or Treat or Pulp Fiction or one of those where there's like several different stories, then they all combine at the end. Everybody comes together and you see what's happening. So I liked that part of it. It's interesting the way they do that. It kind of reminds me of like Stephen King stories or stuff like that. There's a lot of his where everything doesn't come together until the very end. Characters don't meet, which they've been kind of walking parallel roads the whole time. So that part I liked a lot.
Yeah. Well, did you know that at the end of credits of Weapons, there's a thank you to David Fincher, and it's because David Fincher helped him during prep, during post, gave him a lot of advice, gave him ideas. So my thing is like, is this a David Fincher movie or is this a Zack Creager movie?
A lot of the things, sometimes you get people to help. It was James Cameron that suggested that the Predator looked the way he did, because in the original version of the Predator, he was wearing like a suit, a helmet, and it was Jean-Claude Van Damme that played him. And then they were like, yeah, that's not scary. So Cameron and Winston came up with the concept of the Predator having like the opening jaws and all that, and they got Kevin Peter Hall, who's like 7'4", to play him. And we're like, oh yeah, no, that's horrifying. Jean-Claude Van Damme in like a red suit was not horrifying.
Yeah, so what you're telling me is James Cameron, who at the time was like nobody, right? This was
this was 87. He'd already done Terminator and Aliens.
Oh, Terminator. Oh, okay, so he already had done that. I'm sorry. In my mind, I don't know why Predator, which ... happened before that. But yes, fine, I guess. But you're right. obviously, if it was a David Fincher movie, it would be much better. Just like Poltergeist is really by Steven Spielberg. Sorry, Toby Hooper. It's okay. So just so we are clear. So we're gonna move on.
So you're on the Spielberg camp on that one, huh?
Oh, I'm 100% on the Spielberg camp on that. We can hit that where we can talk about weapons. Look, I love Toby Hooper. Is Texas Chainsaw amazing? Yeah, but how you only have one amazing movie and you made a lot of other movies and they didn't even come close. Also, that movie, like, maybe he just needed to be high at the time, or maybe he didn't have enough Dr. Pepper. I don't know what the formula was with me Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe it's just one of those, like, you were at the right time, right place at the right time, and you struggled. Like,
well, there was a lot of weed involved in Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, I know there was a lot of weed involved, and there was going to be a lot of Dr. Pepper involved. So you got both things at the party.
It's Dr. Pepper and vodka, so it was the Dr. Hooper.
Oh my God, no. Okay. So back with my issue with weapons. So the name, fine. Then they're going to tell you everywhere, every marketing thing, these kids, that 217, these kids just fucking vanished and they were never seen again. Spoiler alert, fucking lies. They were definitely seen again, okay? So that's a lie. So I'm already lied to. I haven't even watched the movie. I've just seen the fucking trailer and fucking seen the damn poster. Lied. Just to get me in. You didn't have to lie to me. Zach, we cool. I saw Barbarian in the movie theater. I didn't wait until it came out. I saw that. Like, I bought a ticket for that, okay? That's like $15. It's a lot of money. That's, for some people, that's exactly what they get paid for, like 1 hour of work. So it's real out here. Now, okay, now I'm like, okay, now I'm in it. There's a lot of shit happening. You know, you're in the stories. You're like, man, every one of these people are fucked up people. Not that they're bad people. Either they just made bad decisions. They all are selfish in my mind. They are selfish to some degree. Josh Brolin, I don't really have a lot to say about him besides the whole thing I'm going to mention. More spoilers in 10 seconds. So yeah, that, I'm like, no. The other thing, the Josh Brolin thing. So Josh Brolin, he's upset. He thinks the teacher did it. Somehow she did it. He goes to the cops. He's there every day. He's just always going. He's watching. That's all he watches. He's not watching like what's trending on Netflix. He's watching the video of his kid because some of the parents had Ring cameras, and that's where they have the footage of them leaving the house.
That's why they all left at 2:17.
Yeah. So right there, he's watching that up and down all around. That's all he's watching. He goes, you later find out during one of the other stories that she has the word witch. Which right there, wink, 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 wink. Director wink, it's about a witch, y'all. I'm letting you know right now. In big red ass letters on the side of this truck, this movie's about a witch. I didn't even think two things about it at the time. I just moved on with my life because I saw it as, oh, okay, this is a white male. He's upset with this other lady, and of course, if the children just vanish, he's gonna go to straight, she's a witch. Because anything that's unexplained and the history of men and women, she gotta be a witch. She's a witch. She's a midwife. Only men are doctors. They only can deliver a baby. She delivered a baby, or she cured this person, witch. Gotta hang her, gotta burn her.
That's true.
Let's go after her. Let's get her. So I was just like, and then I was like, oh God. So we get to Gladys's story, right? Well, not really. Does she have her own story? I think it's because she's in everyone else's stories to some point. She's in the son's story. So Gladys is the long lost aunt, which even in that, another hole is a discrepancy because the parents in the conversation in the bathroom, she says that they haven't seen, the father says, we haven't seen her 15 years, okay? And then there's something other said that that the Gladys says to the kid, I haven't seen you since you were a baby. Discrepancy. The kid is not 15 years old. So if the last time they saw this woman was 15 years ago, the kid was not a baby. He didn't even exist. unless she's that real of a witch that she saw into the fucking future, and that's when she saw the kid. Like, and I doubt we're going in that route. So right there, which there is speculation, which I did have, that she's not of age. And I have a lot of questions about Gladys. That's my other, for me, plot hole, but the whole thing. Because you have this woman coming in. She has not been seen by the family for a long time. Her sister's dead. She's the sister of the mom. And she hasn't seen her in a long time. She's coming over because she's sick.
Yeah, she's the other thing that's a lie on the poster that we didn't really get into is that it's not all the kids in the class disappear.
Oh, yes.
One of them stays. And that kid is kind of the part of the reason everything's happening. It's his parents, it's his mom's sister. His mom's, it would be his grandma. It would be the kid's grandma's sister. So
I thought it was his mom's sister. Okay, yes. So the grandma,
so
grandma
aunt.
Great aunt.
Yeah, it'd be like his great aunt would be who it is,
yes.
And because it's the mom's aunt, and so it'd be like his great aunt, really.
Yes.
But she comes to stay at the house, and as soon as she comes to the door, you're like, oh, this is bad. This is going to be real bad.
She's hunched over, which you already seen her previously. Prior to this scene, you've seen her look completely different. She's hunched over at this point. She's coming in the fucking like late at night, and she can barely carry her stuff, so the father has to carry her stuff in. And she has this like weird bonsai-esque, really old plant that looks like it's dying. It's like all black. I was already like, suspect. This is sus. And they were a lot of crumbs for me, which I was like, no, she's a witch. Like, this is what's happening. But I didn't know why. And the other thing that kind of tipped me off is when she has a discussion with her, whatever you want to call it, the kid. And she tells the kid that if you tell anyone about my presence, you tell anyone here, I'm going to hurt your parents. You know, which is this thing, this power that she has, just like, that's just, manipulating children. And threatening them with trauma. It's very traumatic. His parents, they're kind of like zombified. She's controlling them. She has the ability to control people with, some kind of like personal effect from the person.
Yeah.
And
it's a little witchcraft, voodoo, something. You're not sure exactly what. They don't really explain.
No, they don't explain. There's no explanation. No origin of where this tree came from. Not a damn thing.
Don't worry. I just read today there is an Aunt Gladys prequel in the works.
I cannot. No, focus on the sequel to Barbarian. That's what you need to be doing. Okay. So I'm like, that's what you need to be doing. So yes. So the whole thing with Aunt Gladys, she threatens the kid, and the kid, has to like do her bidding and whatnot. And she has no real choice. So she's, in a way, she's controlling the kid without controlling the kid.
Yeah, she needed someone, I guess, to be normal, because if all the kids, I guess, had disappeared from the class, including him, then that would have raised a red flag.
And she also needs him.
Yeah, because she really can't go out and do all this stuff on her own.
No.
Without attracting attention, and then she can't stay living in the house. If she'd be even more of a suspect if, like, she's living in the house and the parents are gone, all this.
When she landed in the principal's office, or I should say the principal's house, because when she had that conversation with the kid and told him not to tell anyone, when the principal asked for the parent to come in because the teacher went over and saw some crazy shit, and she was like, you have to have that house investigated. There's something wrong going on there. And the teacher asked for the parents to come in, and then Gladys came in. Her first thing was like, who told you? She asked him several times, who told you about me? Because right off the bat, she thought that it was the kid that told that she was there, like of her presence or whatever. So when she doesn't get the answer, she's like, I gotta get rid of this principal. No loose ends. when she came in the house, already the woman looks insane, okay? She was giving long legs vibes, okay? She was like, no, do not let this woman, there's something wrong with her. I already knew she was wearing a wig. The hairline was too far back. The bangs were not matching. I was like, she's bald. There's something going on with this woman. This is a witches situation, which kind of like, okay, I'm not going to go on a tangent, but yes, Angelica Houston and witches, like boldness, witches. Okay, so here we are. She's in the house. When she asked for water, okay,
yeah,
which is a normal question, may I have some water? Because her whole thing to get in the door was that she was overexerted, she was hot and she's old and she needed help and she needed water, okay? And she's like, can I have it in a bowl? I was like, that bitch is a witch. I was like, she's gonna do some purification or some shit. She's gonna cleanse something.
Yeah.
Like, nope. Witchery.
As soon as they ask you,
witchery.
As soon as they ask for the water in a bowl, you know, when they ask you, they'll be like saying, you know, I'd like can I have a snack? Could I get that on some sort of a stick, please? Like a sharpened stick? No, you can't.
Then she whipped out with some regularly ass willow looking stick out of the purse. I was like, which reminded me of The Guardian. If you haven't seen that movie from 1990, directed.
Oh, it's been a long time I saw that, yeah.
By, what's his face?
William
Friedkin. Like, I like that movie, but yes, I was like, boom. The fact that it's like one of those things, is this going to, it's not going to propel the story. We don't even really need a whole backstory for Gladys to some degree. My thing is, for me, she just randomly like found this tree at a yard sale and someone said, oh, my great grandmother said that if you just, take a branch from the tree and you wrap someone's personal effects in it, you'll be able to control them. We don't believe that. We'll sell it to you for $2. And she bought it and she was like, you know what do I gotta lose? I'm dying. I'm a dying woman. Let me see if this shit works. Okay, then I could believe that. Because how long has she been sick? How long has she had this tree? Why couldn't she use this to other people? It wasn't something that needed to be, obviously, her direct descendants, because she used the children to make her feel better. And she didn't even, and the children were there for over a month. We're going to say a month and 2 weeks, because when the movie starts, the kid who's doing the narration tells you a month later is when the story begins.
But that was only a couple of days after the start of the story, though.
No, it was a month.
No. I'm saying once the month happened, everything else you see in the movie is only a couple of days.
Yeah, so I'm giving it like a 2-week time frame. I'm giving a maximum. It doesn't matter. The kids have been missing for a month, okay? Yeah. In a month and 4 days, she was siphoning like 17 kids that were all healthy kids that we know of, that were all 8-9 years old, so the best of their fucking health is gonna be, okay, in their lifetime. She had all of those, and all she can do was grow out a little bit of straggly hair and stand up straight. Like, okay, she could run, because obviously there's a whole, like my sister dubbed it, the Ferris Bueller sequence at the end. There's a Ferris Bueller sequence, fine, like that's happening. But this woman, when you see her early on, she got 4 strands of hair, okay? She's all bald. We're going to assume that we're not going to assume. They say that she has cancer, a form of cancer. She's dying. She's frail. She looked like she got scoliosis. Like, she's real fucked up.
She gets better fast.
She got a little better off the parents. And there's that whole conversation when she has a kid. I thought your parents were going to make me feel better. But they're not enough. And that's how she gets into, I need you to bring something from everyone in your classroom. So all those kids, that bitch should have came up like she was at least, let's say she was 75, 60 years old. And here you go. My health is back to fucking normal with all the kids that she was siphoning for over a month. So how long was it going to take? Like their whole life? They were going to be there in that basement. She obviously did she not think it through? She didn't even know, because she's never done it before, which is why I said this bitch bought the shit at the fucking garage sale, because how you don't know how your own thing works, your magic, so to speak. That bothered me. So I'm like, you can't, and then the whole tired narrative, oh, it's a witch. I'm like, oh, if I have to hear it's a witch again, I'm just like, that is the laziest plot that you can have right now for me. It's a witch. Let's get away from that. Okay, we've already done
So
it.
you're saying you want warlocks?
No, I don't want anything dealing with any of that. Let's not, especially in this time frame that we live in. It's not helping anything. It's perpetuating Hollywood's idea of witches, which is completely incorrect, and it's offensive. I'm offended every single time. Like, I know Joe Bob, he has this whole thing every year where he has this thing. He just says, please, the Wiccans and the Pagans and everybody, stop emailing me, stop sending me angry letters. It's just a joke. It's not a joke to us. I don't think it's funny. I think that it just perpetuates what people believe. And they're going to believe it or not, whether it's in front of their TV. They're already going to have that belief. But we don't need to keep reminding them and giving them excuses, because then they're going to come up like with the craziest things. Like, it's just no. So there were a lot of things that just didn't match up for me. And I do like the individual stories. The acting was great. There was nothing wrong with anyone's performances. I just thought the story was a little tired. And everyone's saying this is the most original thing you've ever seen. Then you obviously haven't seen enough films. Like, you need to go out there and go do something, because it's not it. This is not the most original thing you've ever seen. If it is, you need to watch more. So I straight up give it 2 knives.
I'm gonna give it 3. I liked it a little more than you did. I wasn't as offended by the whole witchcraft thing.
Well, obviously,
and
that's fine. I'm not even giving it away because of the witchcrafting. It's not anything. There's no the story is inconsistent. It doesn't make sense to me. For all the reasons I already stated, and it's just, I don't know. That's all I have to have. I'll have a sigh. Go ahead. Finish at your rating. And you were going to say you liked it a little more than I did. And you were like the story. It had its creepy moments. It did what it needed to do. But I feel like it could have been better. Yeah. And the writing could have been tighter. And there were certain things like, right off the bat in the movie, they focus on the teacher's lapel, and she's wearing a "Stop Bullying" button. And then later on in the kid's story, you see that he's actually being bullied by Josh Brolin's kid. And then you have this AK-47 gun over the house, and the movie's called Weapons. So is it a social commentary about bullying? And then you have the whole witchcraft thing, and then you linger on the symbols on the bell, because that's how she enacts, like, whatever she needs to take a hold of the people. So there's these symbols of the bell, and the director, I feel like, makes it a point to show you, focus. I'm going to go right up to these symbols and linger on for a little bit and make that the focus. These symbols, for me, I'm like, are these symbols in Barbarian? Are we going to see it in the next movie? What's going on in his mind? Is this going to be more of an expansive world where we're going to see these symbols again? Why are we focusing on these symbols? And he doesn't show it just one time. It shows it several times where the background is like blurred. And there's just things like that I'm like, what? Okay, what's going on? Yes, Shad's like, I'm ranting, and I am ranting because I wanted to really like this fucking movie. The marketing was amazing. I really enjoyed all the getting me to the movie. Okay, was it a little much? Maybe, but I think it's clever. That's my form of marketing. That I'm all about it. And then I like the director. I really like Barbarian, so I really wanted to really like this movie. The concept was creepy, but there could have been so much more. Actually, what you told me today, that he gave the actress that played Gladys, that he gave her a choice on a backstory. One was the tired backstory they decided to go with, which was that she was a witch and she used a tool to control people, right? Mm-hmm. Or she was some kind of, a non-human creature, who and he jokingly was like, that's why she dressed so unusually, because she was trying to figure out how humans dress, and that's why she looked as weird as she did. That, to me, is a better idea. Go with that.
Yeah. Make her some kind of, like, changeling type thing that has to, like, absorb all the kids' energy in order to become more human. Maybe she would have been, by the time she was done with all these kids, she would have been like a 30-year-old Gladys.
Yeah, or maybe she needed to siphon their fucking youth or whatever, so then she can get better. Maybe she got fucking real fucked up. Maybe she is sick, and because she's non-human, so maybe it's like a kind of world situation, like she can't be in this environment and it's making her sick. She's siphoning the energy, so then she's like able to like get back to her people or fucking get back to whatever it is. Something is better than she's a witch. I'm sorry, that is a better idea. They should have gone with that. That is original. That's giving kind of like Twilight Zone, you know?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. Especially the way that she looked. Also, she looked like she could be Long Legs, like Lost Dawn. Like, are they related? Like, are they in the same world? Like, what's going on?
They show up at the Met Gala together. They're a power couple.
Wow. Yes. I love it. So, what was your favorite part of the movie?
Probably the end, the Ferris Bueller thing you're talking about.
Yeah, the Ferris Bueller thing was very funny.
Yeah, that one was disturbing but hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I think after because the story is a mystery. You are solving, it is kind of like very true crimey, you know, like, oh, you're getting all these clues and you're trying to solve like who done it, you know, where'd the kids go? So when you have the end, it is comical and it's kind of like to kind of help you with all the craziness that you just had to like watch.
Yeah.
And then my favorite line is when Josh Brolin, who's apparently been at the police station so many times speaking with the chief, and the chief, they have this in the trailer, the chief is like, those kids walked out of those homes and no one pulled them out. No one forced them. What do you see that I don't? That right there is like, wow. That's a great line because one, a cop that didn't care wouldn't even ask, like, what do you see that I don't? Because obviously he just keeps coming back and he gets it. He's like, if it was my kid, that whole actual like monologue that he has, the captain, is for me a powerful monologue because he's sympathetic. He understands, obviously, but he's like, they left of their own volition. Like, there's nothing sinister behind this woman.
There was no kidnapping that we can... Well, they didn't even know about her.
Yeah. Well, no. The woman being the teacher.
Yeah, sorry, the teacher.
So, well, yeah, Josh Brolin called her a witch. So, yes. And so, to some degree, the teacher was seen by one person as a witch. Justin Long's also in the movie. Just a little cameo. You know, a little barbarian cameo, you know.
Yeah, so is Sarah Paxton. She shows up in there as well.
A parent that doesn't give a damn, like barely, because no one else is looking for these kids. Everyone else is just like, man, that sucks. Those kids left. I'm so sad. Wink. One less fucking mouth to feed. Like,
man, this was a good thing / bad thing. I gotta act sad for the public, but in reality, whoo, I was so tired of that kid.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy scenes. The scene where, I don't find it's crazy, but the scene where, Josh Brolin goes and he talks to the grieving mom and she like denies him to watch the video. She's like, she's not going to give up the video of her kid or the ring light camera. And he just waits there for the husband to come home, who's Justin Long. And
like,
that's how he's able to get, and Justin Long's
went around her.
Yeah, that's true. Because that right there adds on to the character development for Josh Brolin, what kind of man he is, which justifies for me the whole witch thing. Because Allie was like, why would he write that? That's so like... And I said, he's of that age, like, that he would be going around calling women witches. Like, that's a thing that I feel like that character would be doing.
Yeah.
So, yes. And then he has the whole thing of saying, like, in the dream, like, when he... Like, he wish he would have told his son he loved him, which is another, like, oh, he's a male. I don't disclose my feelings
he's
like that to my
man. He doesn't
to my
say,
child.
I love you to my child.
You know, everything lined up with him. Actually, if anything, he's, like, actually the best written character out of everyone. I can't stand the teacher. I can't stand the cop. But it's like they all share that selfishness about them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's my 2 or 5 25 cents about it. I don't really get really passionate and ranty about a lot of things because I'm just like, chill. Shad's usually the one that's talking about the things. I'm just here to be like,
you haven't been this worked up since the Craft Legacy.
Wow, that's true. Another one that another witch movie.
It's going to become a witch podcast from now on.
First of all, we did Witchboard, and I did not get this passionate, okay?
Well, that's about a witch board, not a witch person.
It doesn't matter. Also, that's a stupid name. It's a Ouija board. I know they couldn't obviously call it that, even though later on there would be a Ouija movie, but they paid for the rights for that, I'm sure, of the wazoo, to have the name. But now we have another Witchboard coming out. Oh, God. Chuck Russell, why? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, okay. So I gave my score. Do you want to add anything there, sir?
No, I'm good.
The movie? Oh my goodness. Can't wait to see what else is gonna be coming out after this from this director. I'm dying to know what else is gonna come out. I want to see something that's not interrupted, something that didn't get, maybe it
pushed back or whatever.
Pushed back and fell through with a lot of things. Maybe there's more cohesiveness there, like whatever. I don't know. Thank you so much for joining us on another podcast of Jump Scare, the horror podcast. Stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.